So we've made it through stability, where that's where basically you're just in survival mode. You're being disciplined. Let's talk about strategy. This is what I like about strategy. It means you're finally putting your money to work. We're big on the army of dollars.
All right, so let's talk about what are some things that strategy is and what are some things that strategy is not. Strategy is controlling your paycheck, not letting it control you. You are no longer this person that is paycheck to paycheck just to make ends meet. You also have a plan and you're actually doing it. You don't just have an idea, a dream. You've written down, hey, this is what I need to be doing with my dollars, and I'm actually taking the steps to begin doing those things.
Yeah, I think that's probably an always be buying type strategy. You're seeing the assets build. And then what I love is you're furthering your financial education. Look, we are a great resource for that. If you have not subscribed, if you've not turned on the notification, I'd encourage you to do that because we are vested in seeing you become the best version of yourself.
All right, Brian, let's talk about what strategy is not. Strategy is not taking advice from your cousins, next doors, neighbors, best friends, wives, husbands, uncles, brother. That's not what it is. That's not strategy. Strategy is understanding that what you're doing with your dollars actually makes sense for your unique financial circumstance, not listening to all the noise out there trying to get you to do stuff that you don't need to be doing.
I also don't want people falling in the trap of chasing the next white hot dot. I mean, what is white hot right now or the next big thing? I feel like there's so many people, especially with social media, they are trying to influence your decision-making process and they don't have your best interests at heart. Be careful falling into those distractions.
Now, this third one, Brian, is a little bit of a hot take. I want you to explain it. We said that strategy is not falling into the saver's trap. And you talk a lot about this because you've seen this firsthand.
Yeah, I grew up in a household where everything that was, my parents were great at getting through the strategy of living on less than they make, building savings, but that's where it stopped. There was no strategy that actually took it into the wealth building process. Our idea of my parents for investing was CDs and savings accounts. That is not what, that's the saver's trap. We want you to make sure that you are actually implementing the strategy of the wealth building process of actually letting your money work as hard as you do for your paycheck or for your job or your service you provide. You can let your money do that for you even while you sleep if you put the right strategy in place.
Now, to be in the strategy phase, you cannot be an ostrich. You cannot ignore it. Listen to this. We know that a survey from Fidelity between Americans ages 18 to 44 found that most folks don't have any financial strategy. 51% of their respondents have no idea how much they're saving or spending. All they care about is, do I have money in the bank? If I have money in the bank, then I'm good. And a lot of people say, oh, no, I've got a strategy. I'm just going to save whatever's left over at the end of the month.
That's a disaster.
If you do that, you're going to be amazed to find that over and over and over at the end of the month, at the end of the pay cycle, at the end of the week, there are no more dollars left to save. So if that is your strategy, that's really no strategy at all.
Well, if you are if you're in the wait for what's left over camp, that's reactive.
Yep.
And nobody wins without a good offense. And that's why if you can pay yourself first, always be buying, make those good habits super easy where it's automatic for the people, you're going to be so much further ahead than your peers because most of them are in the wait to see what's left over. And what do you know? Because we're behavioral, because we live in a consumption society, you'll find most people, if you just wait for what's left over, you're going to be in trouble.
Listen to this. 65% of folks say that they know they should save more, but they're so stressed out about it that they avoid thinking about it altogether. If that defines you, you are not in the strategy level of wealth. So what do you do? How do you get to that level? What are the things that you need to be honing in on? Well, they all fall under this subheading of be intentional. Are you taking control of your finances? Because if you don't own your financial future, then your financial future will own you. This is the level of wealth where you have to be intentional around the decisions you're making.
Yeah, and it's okay if you look at your financial life and you say, I just don't know what I don't know, and you're looking for some additional education. That's what we have built the abundance cycle off of. We've been doing free content since 2006. Lean into that. There's nothing wrong with admitting what you don't know. I actually think that that's a first step towards building and growing yourself out of this situation.
And then the other thing you have to do is in this strategy, you have to know your why. What's the reason that I'm doing this? Because it's the why that is going to give the staying power to the intentionality. If you're just making financial decisions for the sake of financial decisions, it's going to be really easy to get pulled off course. It's going to be really easy for society to cause you to make decisions that you should not be making. So make sure you understand the purpose behind the decisions you're making. Okay, I'm living on less than I make so that in the future I can X. I'm not running up credit card debt so that I don't Y. If you can know those things, it's going to give you the power to make sure that you're staying and sticking to the plan that you've developed in this strategy phase.
Yeah, I want to kind of start transitioning to talk about how do you know if you're doing it right. Mm-hmm. And this is what we came from. Stability is just survival, meaning that you can pay the bills. Strategy has now got us where we're thinking about how do we make our money work for us. The first sign that you're doing it right, you've got a full emergency fund. This is going to protect you from all the bad stuff that can come your way. You don't have to make those desperate decisions that will have you either do credit card debt or go out there and sell something at an inappropriate or in a bad time. If you do the emergency fund, you are protected from that.
It doesn't mean that bad things are not going to happen. It does not mean that when bad things happen, it's not still going to be painful. It's not still going to have an impact, but you're prepared for it because you've done that. You'll also know that you're doing the strategy phase right if your financial life is beginning to look like it's on autopilot. You're automatically investing in your 401k. You're automatically funding your Roth IRAs. Your bills are getting paid automatically. You don't have to think about all those things. Your financial enterprise is just building. You are always buying.
Yeah, always be buying, baby. That's what I'm telling you. If you can just automatic for the people, set up an automated wealth building process, you set it, forget it, you will be so far ahead of all the people that you're just like, how is everybody else not doing this? And then this also ties into, if you look at the financial order of operations, this is when you get to the strategy side, you really are starting to get through steps 4 through 7. That's really what we're talking about in the strategy. Your money is starting to grow legs and run faster and faster.